planet that has enough for everyone's needs. But we believe that even if all planets come together, they will not be able to satisfy human greed. A very pleasant morning to our Honorable Founder President, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Chancellor Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan, Vice Chancellor Ma'am Professor Dr. Balwinder Singh Shukla, all our esteemed dignitaries, panelists, faculties, and students that are gathered here today. We would like to welcome you all on behalf of MIT School of Economics to the first day of the 5th Hybrid International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals, Harnessing Innovation, Technology, and Society 5.0. Sponsored by CASA Medicare, Debbie Biryani, Minstate, and Ditorite. Over the course of these 2 days, this conference aims to serve as a platform for the students, researchers, academicians, and practitioners from both academia as well as industry to share their thoughts and ideas on new trends that are emerging and shaping the concept of SDGs by utilizing disruptive innovations and cutting edge technologies within the ambit of Society 5.0.
The idea of developing a human-centered society that integrates cyberspace and physical space for the resolution of social programs gives rise to a new interpretation of the concepts of SDGs. The SDGs are specifically aimed to eliminate poverty and hunger, ensure good health and well-being, provide quality education to all, ensure gender equality, and provide clean water and sanitation. Sustainable development aims to be inclusive and take special care of the needs of the poorest and the most vulnerable. Meeting sustainable development goals requires actions on a number of fronts, including harnessing and maximizing the potential of technological innovation and society. Before we begin this event, we would like to call upon Professor Dr. Kavita Indapurkar, Head of Institution Amity School of Economics, our convener Dr. Neeru Siddhana, and all faculty members to invoke the blessings of Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and knowledge, by lighting the ceremonial lamp. Thank you so much, dear teachers, for being with us through this auspicious event. Now, I would like to invite Kavita ma'am to give the welcome address to this August gathering. Kavita ma'am, over to you.
A very good morning to one and all present here. This is a great moment for all of us here at ASE. and I stand before you all to welcome you to the 5th International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals, Harnessing Innovation, Technology and Society 5.0. This is a two-day flagship academic event of Amity School of Economics, and this is the 5th year that we are holding this. This has been possible only because of the kind blessings of our revered founder, President Sir, and most respected Honorable Chancellor Sir. With folded hands and great respect, I welcome you, sir. We could achieve this new feat only under the leadership and unconditional support and guidance of our dynamic Honorable VC Madam. Every day we learn something new from her. With great pleasure, I welcome you, ma'am. I also take this opportunity to welcome our respected Professor Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, who is also the chairperson of our Faculty Research Committee. I welcome you, sir. Amity School of Economics is really elated to have with us Professor Dr. J.P. Sharma ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology of Jammu. I respectfully welcome you, sir. Professor Dr. Iqbal Thons Havaldar, who is Professor, Researcher and Director, Accreditation and Quality Assurance Center at Kingdom University, Bahrain. We all are keen to listen to you, sir. We also have with us Mr. Rahul Bhave, who is Executive Director, National Housing Bank, New Delhi. Also, Dr. Sharmistha Ghosh, who is an economist and is presently Director at BRICS CCI. I welcome you all. We are very happy to have with us Dr. Sherry Bawa from Curtin University, Australia, Mr. Shahryar Akhtar, Associate Professor from UOW, Australia. I, as Joint Administrator and Head of Institution of ASE, welcome all my guests, external guests, who took out time from their very busy schedule to be here. ASE is really blessed to have your gracious presence during the inaugural of this International Conference 2022. Now, I request the team to take over so that we can complete our inaugural session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm and kind words. Now, I would like to introduce our highly venerated guest of honor, Mr. Rahul Bhave. Sir is a senior banker with over 20 years of commercial banking experience in various capacities and has served across the nation. Sir currently oversees as the Executive Director at the National Housing Bank, New Delhi, since 2020. He has also served at a very senior position at Canara Bank for approximately 5 years and more. Apart from his expertise in retail operations, Sir has also carries experience in the areas of recovery, risk management, and information technology. Mr. Bhave has an MBA in Public Management and Policy from IIM Ahmedabad and is also a qualified CAIIB professional. Sir is a very versatile personality, widely traveled, and open-hearted person. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of Amity Management, senior functionaries, faculty, and students. We are sure that all of us gathered here will be enlightened with your valuable thoughts and ideas that you will share today. So without taking much of the time, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I hope I am audible and also clearly visible. Yeah, thank you. So I was not expecting that I would be the opening batsman. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. Very good morning to all of you, Professor Inda Purkar, learned faculties, guest speakers, and dear students. I was supposed to come here physically, but I decided to implement the subject itself, sustainability and technology. So I have come through webinar rather than coming physically there. One more advantage of coming on web is that I need not have a mask on my face, so I can speak freely. So that is one more advantage I took on my behalf. Thank you so much for calling me here. I am sure that in these 2 days, you would hear a lot about sustainable development goals, which each country which are part of UN are trying to achieve their goals. Already spoken about some topics like climate or poverty alleviation or health, whatever it may be. But basically, with a disclaimer, I would tell you that neither I am expert or a professor. So please pardon me if I am not very strong in theory. But whatever we are doing as a banker or as a National Housing Bank, I would share my experiences. The rest is left to our experts who would be dealing in theory and how to take it forward in future. When we say all about whatever we have heard so far, whether it is a climate change or whether it is poverty, I go back to the basic of Indian theory. If you all remember, roti, kapda or makan, which I believe is a theory and is a practical approach for sustainable developmental goal for our country. So as part of NHB, I represent that the third segment, which you can say, Sar pe Chhat Makan, and how it is linked to the sustainable development goals. I would like to share my thoughts on it. And before that, I feel for students, benefit of students, I would like to introduce what National Housing Bank is, because for you, bank, first encounter with the bank would have been education loan before this, not a National Housing Bank. So let me introduce you what is National Housing Bank. National Housing Bank is an apex institution. It's a DFI. It's a financial institution which was hitherto a regulator to housing finance company till 2019. Like what RBI is to the commercial banks, National Housing Bank played that role for 100 odd housing finance companies. So we were regulator to the housing finance companies. We continue to be the supervisors for those housing finance companies. That means we supervise their business, their conduct of business, and whether they are complying with the regulation. Apart from that, we are also doing the refinance part to the housing finance company. That means providing liquidity support to all those companies, those who cater the needs of housing of our countrymen. And also apart from that, we are also in the policy interventions wherever housing is required. Apart from this, National Housing Bank, if you would have heard Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and its success, behind it was the National Housing Bank also, where National Housing Bank acted as a central nodal agency for providing subsidies to lakhs and crores of beneficiaries through primary lending institutes. So National Housing Bank has been tying up with more than 280 PLIs. And till date, since the launch of the scheme, around 30,000 crore of subsidy has gone to the public through us from the government. So this is what is National Housing Bank. Now, since I have spoken about roti, kapda or makan, and makan being the very important tool for our development perspective, let me tell you how housing has performed in the country since 1980 onwards. If you see 1980, if you see housing credit outstanding as a whole, it was less than 1% of the GDP ratio in that year. But today, when we see what is the figure, it is almost 11% of the GDP of the country. And it speaks about the significance which it has drawn. Also, it would be interesting for you to know, students, that apart from agriculture, this segment is the second highest employment generation segment. So you can imagine how much it contributes to the economic development of the country. Also, if you would like to hear, there would be around more than 200 industries which are linked to this segment. You just think of a house and and close your eyes, you would figure out how many industries would be working behind that to make this happen. So this is a very important segment which caters to the need of the people. Coming back to how it has played and how the credit outstanding has happened over a year in this country. In 2015, the total credit outstanding of housing loans in the country was around 10 lakh crores. And today, when we speak as on December 21, it is almost touching 24 lakh crores. See the importance and see how it is growing over a period. Today, when we speak of housing loan, you should be aware that banks are playing a major role in credit disbursement. But it's not only banks; there are housing finance companies also, which are playing an important role in credit disbursement. In 1980, the ratio of credit disbursement for housing between banks and housing finance company was of 65-35. Today, it is a reverse trend. Banks contribute around 65% of credit and 35% credit comes from housing finance company. This financial year, till now, almost 4 lakh crore housing loan has been disbursed. So it is a happy note that post-COVID, we are seeing a huge demand in housing segment. A CAGR of 13% we are witnessing now. So it's a very heartening growth story. What we see as an economic indicator and developmental role which housing is playing. Now, if we talk about what housing has been so far, we should also see how we have made it sustainable over a period and how we can make it sustainable in future also. The growth of this sustainability has been majorly, I believe, since 2015 because of the flagship program of Housing for All. From that, as I have already spoken about the figures, in 2015, it was 10 lakh crores. Today, it has reached around 24 lakh crores of outstanding. This has only happened because of the flagship program which started. Also, RERA has been one of the important institutions which has played a role in a smooth sailing and we can say an agency which has given confidence to the end-use customers. Thrust on affordable housing. This has also been one of the key segments. If you see the total credit outstanding, almost 40% is of the ticket size less than 25 lakhs. So the affordable housing segment, which is seeing a huge demand, I think that also has been catered by housing finance companies and banks, and NHB as a refinance institution, we have lended since past 3-4 years more than 25,000 crore refinance to the housing finance company to cater this segment. So these are the few milestones. Also, because of the policy intervention by RBI and also the regulations, you see the transmission rate for rate of interest has been very fast. When we see 10 years back, the rate of WALR used to be around 10% for the credit bankers. Now today it is almost 7 or less than 7%. So this is also one of the policy measures which has helped in sustainable development and sustainable growth of housing segment over a year. One more important aspect which we see in future, which will help in employment generation and also ancillary industries, is urbanization. If you see the figure of urbanization, today almost 40% of 30% population lives in urban India. But with an estimate which has been made by certain agencies and ministry, by 2051, around 50% of Indian population would be living in urban area. So imagine the kind of demand and kind of infrastructure need which we have to create over a period of time, and how much work has to be done is also to be thought of and to be worked on. So COVID has also played an important role. Earlier, housing, which was seen as an investment or a security, is also being seen as a working place. So now, with the concept of work from home, I believe house has become an office for all of us. And that also is a requirement for a young millennium to have a house. Average age for buying a house, maybe 5 years or 8 years back, used to be around 40. But when I see the students sitting here, now this age has reduced to in 20s. And when you get a job, I know the first thing will cross your mind, car or a portico. Now, earlier people used to buy car. Now people prefer buying a portico first to buy a car. So that has a aspirational change has happened, which is also going to bring a lot of demand and scope for sustainable growth in this area. So सबके सर पे छत, ये जो एक खास गोल है गवर्नमेंट का, मेरे ख्याल से ये एक बहुत अच्छा मोटिव है सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ के लिए. Also, few days back, Honorable Prime Minister was speaking in one of the events, and he told that under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, almost 2 crore women beneficiaries are the co-owners of such houses. So this is also one of the key success stories of housing so far in this country when we talk about the sustainable growth. Now, let me ponder on few points on the technology, how technology or innovation is helping in growth of housing story. All of us hear a lot of building materials which are being used are hazardous to the climate. But now there has been a thrust for green housing. National Housing Bank is also working on this aspect where we we motivate and encourage housing finance company to lend to such borrowers, those who take green housing ratings, and we provide concessions to such housing finance companies. When we say green housing, there are certain things you may also be aware of, because we have a target of net zero by 2070. So we are also trying to contribute a little bit into it. It can be by the way of solar power, whether it is active or passive. It can be by the usage of biodegradable material or by agriculture product waste for construction material, which we are encouraging the technology. You would be interested to know that the fungus or organic paints are also being used in such kind of material. Also, smart appliances like grid refrigerators and washing machines in community areas would also save the energy. One more concept is cool roofs. That means the reflectors on the roof, which reflect and avoid heat for the building, and thus making it less for the ACs to work. Also, strategic agriculture, architectural techniques like strategic placement of windows. There are a lot of innovative designs where strategic placement of windows help in a lot of light and also a lot of air, which helps again saving electricity and AC power. Also, there is a use of electrochromic smart glasses which reflect or shut the heat, again providing avoiding heating of the buildings. Water efficient technologies is there, where like rain harvesting or dual plumbing. You know, the dual plumbing which lowers the sewer traffic, or recycling of water. This also helps in saving water. So we are also encouraging such builders who go through for this technology and they lend to such kind of projects. All our techniques will be helping us in preserving climate. So all these things have been done in housing segment, and lot has to be done. This was a small tidbit which I wanted to give you because I had 10 minutes time. I don't have more time to tell you on this. Maybe some other day we can discuss on this. But just I would thank administration to giving me an opportunity at least to showcase how housing and NHB has played a role in a sustainable goal. I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I hope few statistics which I have shared would really give you an insight on how housing has helped this country and how we are going to shape the future for this country, at least for Roti Kapda and Makan, one of that aspect. Thank you so much. I once again thank the management to giving me an opportunity, and I wish good luck to all students for their bright future, and I hope these 2 days would be very engaging and fruitful and insightful for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for imparting your valuable thoughts and providing this conference the sublime start it needed. An Amity University event is incomplete without the guidance of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, ma'am. We are honored to have you join us for this conference, ma'am. With over 35 years of experience in various organizations, including Amity Group of Institutions, and serving as a chairperson for more than 20 committees within Amity and outside, Dr. Shukla is an institution builder, an inspirational leader, and a role model for academia, students, and budding professionals alike. Ma'am has completed her MTech from IIT Kharagpur and her PhD from Queen's University, Belfast. Her specialities lie in the field of strategic management, resource-based strategy, automation of processes and systems, creating and scaling up new businesses, change management, growth strategies, organizational turnaround, and entrepreneurship leadership, among many others. Her efforts have always been focused on bringing out the full potential of students and empowering them with a winning attitude. Ma'am, we would like to invite you to deliver the inaugural address to our audience.
Madam will join us online.
Please, sir, is it? Puneet, sir.
Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, ma'am, please join.
She's trying to join. Maybe that we will, take her address later on.
Ma'am is meeting. Ma'am is in meeting, but she is not responding. You can call ma'am.
Just now she actually is calling. So we can proceed. Pulkirat, we can proceed and then when Madam comes. Pulkirat. एक मिनट.
So our respected Vice Chancellor will join us in some time. Till then, let's move ahead. It is with immense pleasure that we announce the presence of a revered chief guest, Professor Dr. J.P. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology of Jammu. Sir is a visionary personage who serves as one of the key pillars for the advancement of academic thought and has nurtured generations of scholars. This can be further exemplified by his vast experience of about 35 years conducting strategic research, guiding postgraduate students, and conducting training programs at national and international level. He has designed and developed innovative extension approaches like Krishi Tak, Cyber Extension Model, National Extension Program, innovative farmer-led extension system, etc., for better and faster dissemination of technology. He is a member and a consultant of various national and international professional committees. Dr. Sharma is recipient of more than 62 awards for his outstanding contributions in the field of agricultural extension. Moreover, he has been elected as a prestigious National Academy of Agricultural Sciences Fellow 2022 for his immense contribution in entrepreneurship development in the field of agriculture. We now request you, sir, to please address this august gathering with your valuable insights and ideas. Thank you.
Good morning to all the esteemed participants, the organizers of this important event, Dr. Kavita Indapurkar ji, Iqbal ji, Rahul Bhave ji, who was just speaking about housing projects, Madam Balwinder Shukla ji, Vice Chancellor of MT University, Sir Mr. Ghosh Madam, Neeru Sidana ji, Zari Baba ji, and other dignitaries participating in this program. I am working in a agriculture university and around 35 years of experience I have this profession. Earlier I was in Indian Agriculture Research Institute and now I'm here in Jammu and Kashmir. When we talk of sustainable development goals, agriculture is the only sector, perhaps, which addresses different components of sustainability. Maybe it is poverty, it is hunger, it is health, it is nutrition. So it addresses almost all the component of sustainable development. In today's context, if we talk of agriculture, it is not only a sector. Earlier, Dr. Bhave was speaking. After agriculture, is construction and housing is the another important area. So just I want to tell that our participant how much important agriculture is in our life and our economy. It provides around 52% employment to our masses. 68% of our population is dependent on agriculture. And if we take its contribution in Indian economy, directly we say that 20% it contributes in GDP of the country. But when we take into value-added products derived from agriculture, it is not 20%, it is not 40%, it is around 50%. Whatever you are seeing and whatever you are using in day-to-day life, it is being derived from agriculture. So it is not a sector, but half of the Indian economy. And its further scope, if we see, now if you see the employment scenario in our country, 92% of the opportunities for employment are coming from informal sector, unorganized sector, and only 8% opportunities are from the organized sector, including public and private. And when we talk of entrepreneurial opportunities, we talk of innovations, which is also the subject of today's seminar. What is innovation? Innovation, when it addresses any issue, any constraints, any problems, then it has the entrepreneurial potential. And for it, one has to be, our students are also attending this program, one has to be creative, one has to have creative thinking. That Newton's law of gravitational force. Apple is always coming to ground when it falls from the tree. It was not for the first time when Newton observed it. He thought of it, why it is falling on the ground. Similarly, steam engine, power of steam. When we cook our food, because of the steam, pressure, even the lid of the container gets off.
There is slight network issue. We apologize for the glitch. So we'll be back with us shortly.
We apologize for the technical glitch. Sir will be with us shortly. Please be patient with us. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, okay. Sorry, there was some connection problem. So I was just talking about the that how important is the agriculture sector, and I was just discussing about the employment scenario in our country that 92% of the employment opportunities are coming from informal or unorganized sector, and agriculture is the sector which offers maximum employment opportunities and having entrepreneurial potential. And if we see the contribution of agriculture, we have only 2.4% of world land, and we have only 4.2% of world water. With this 2.4% of world land, we are feeding 18% of world population, human population, and 12% of animal population. That is the kind of support agriculture is giving to Indian economy. And during the Corona period also, there was a negative growth in almost all sectors, maybe manufacturing, maybe housing, other sectors, minus 23% negative growth. But agriculture was the only sector which maintained 3.4% positive growth. And when we talk of entrepreneurial opportunities in agriculture, our focus today is can we convert agriculture, which was a way of life, a culture, into a dynamic entity that is agribusiness. In whole of the country, we are working in this model, and our focus is can agriculture be taken as an enterprise? And for that purpose, our syllabus under this national education policy is also going to change nationally, but in agriculture, it is all the more important. Vocational education in agriculture is all the more important. And if we see in our country, the vocational education is very less. It is only 5%. And if we see the internationally, this vocational education, South Korea, 96% vocational education. Germany, 85% vocational education, and we have only 5% vocational education. As a result, we are developing only job seekers and not the job creators. Now, the focus of the government and the education system is to develop the competency, capability, and capacity of our students that after passing out graduation or post-graduation, they are not only the job seekers, they are the job providers. And under National Education Policy 2022, we have to develop this vocational education by 50% vocational education by 2025 and 80% vocational education by 2035. That is the target we are having. And now degree program, if I give the example in agriculture, 4-year degree program, it will not be like that only. First year will be certificate course, where our student will be exposed with different kind of entrepreneurial opportunities or agriculture-based enterprises. And after 1 year, if they want to exit from this, they will get a certificate course. If they want to continue in another second year, it will be a diploma course, where they will be having some specialized programs based on agriculture enterprises. And if they want to leave after this, they will be given diploma. And if they want to go for third year, advanced diploma, and fourth year, it will be a degree program. So what I am saying that now time has come, our students should start thinking that not only that after doing the degree, which job I will join, but they should start thinking that after during the program of degree, I will make my mind that what kind of enterprise I am going to practice. In Jammu, where I am working, in university, we have already produced some 20 startups, and some of them has been nationally rewarded. And now our students are developing project. Therefore, yesterday only, we have a industry academia meet where major these industries of this region participated, and about 10 students from agriculture and veterinary sciences presented their project, and they were evaluated in terms of technically feasibility, in terms of economic viability, and also the market demand. And we hope in times to come, such programs we will continue to organize, so that during the education period, they identify their some product and they establish their enterprise. We have an incubation center here. Maybe the Amity University is also having that, where the youth bring their ideas, innovations. And if those innovations are having entrepreneurial potential, that innovation is developed into a economically viable project. And there are different kind of scheme under RKVY Raftar, Ministry of Agriculture. 2 schemes we are operating here. One is Udgam. If the idea is new and you want to convert it into enterprise, then you will be provided support of 5 lakhs rupees for establishment of your enterprise. If you are already in a business and you want to expand it, then there is a support for 25 lakhs rupees to expand that enterprise. And I want to tell the students and the participant, I have in my life of 35 years, I have never seen such kind of robust support for entrepreneurship development. We have at national level, we have a Ministry of Skilling and Entrepreneurship Development, Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises. Then we have a National Skill Council of India. In agriculture, we have a Agriculture Skill Council of India. And every district level, there are district industry center and all that. So all kind of support. And if you see the Atmanirbhar Bharat, Prime Minister Atmanirbhar Bharat allocation, 1.65 lakhs crores rupees allocation is for entrepreneurship development. If you see it, 500 crores rupees allocation for beekeeping development, another 4,000 crores rupees for promotion of medicinal and aromatic plant, and then 10,000 crores rupees for micro enterprise promotion, farmer producer organizations and startup, and 1 lakh rupees for infrastructure development at farm gate to reduce the post harvest losses. Another 20,000 rupees for promotion of fisheries. If I give you the example of my state, Jammu and Kashmir, here the fish production is 20,000 tons only, but we have the demand for 3 lakh tons. There is a lot of scope. We are focusing on it. And similarly, 15,000 crores rupees for dairy development, 13,340 rupees for vaccination. So what I am saying that there are not only the programs and policies, but there is a financial support if our student want to go for entrepreneurship development in agriculture. And beside other things, the most important sector today in times to come will be processing, value addition, and another thing is marketing. And a lot of people, not from agriculture or only engineering background, IITs, IIMs, people are coming in agribusiness because everything can fail, but not agriculture. Everybody in future also will require food. Today we require food. And I wish to congratulate the scientists and the farmers and the policymakers during Corona period of these 2 years. Nobody died because of the shortage of food. Our farmers, they provided, they ensured food for everyone. And this is the sector, especially the processing, value addition and agriculture will continue to grow. And our students, budding entrepreneurs can think over this, that what kind of enterprise, what kind of entrepreneurial venture they want to do in the area of agriculture. With these words, I really congratulate the organizers to select such a relevant theme and giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights and kind words. Panelists are more than welcome to ask questions with other dignitaries after an address is over and make this event an even more interactive and enriching session.
Thank you, sir. An Amity University event is incomplete without the guidance of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, ma'am. We are honored to have you join us for this conference, ma'am. With over 35 years of experience in various organizations, including Amity Group of Institutions, and serving as a chairperson of more than 20 committees within Amity and outside, Dr. Shukla is an institutional builder, an inspirational leader, and a role model for academia, students, and budding professionals alike. Ma'am has completed her MTech from IIT Kharagpur and her PhD from Queen's University, Belfast. Her specialities lie in the field of strategic management, resource-based strategy, automation of processes and systems, creating and scaling up new businesses, change management, growth strategies, organization turnaround, and entrepreneurial leadership, and among many others. Her efforts have always been focused on bringing out the full potential of students and empowering them with a winning attitude. Ma'am, we would like to invite you to deliver the inaugural address to our audience. Excuse, ma'am, you're on mute.
Our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. J.P. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sher Kashmir University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, Jammu, our Honorable Guest of Honor, Mr. Rahul Bhave, Executive Director, National Housing Bank, and all the esteemed speakers, participants, and my colleagues in the organizing committee. First of all, I, on behalf of Honorable Founder President, Honorable Chancellor, extend a very warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest and our guest of honor for their benign presence at the inaugural session of 5th International Conference on the theme Sustainable Development Goals, Harnessing Innovation, Technology, and Society. As we all know, that sustainability is extremely important for the future generations. And this conference is going to generate the widespread awareness about the importance and relevance of sustainable development goals towards achieving the socio-economic growth and development. And when we look at the various sustainable goals, the how can we address everything, how we can look at each sustainable development goal and develop the strategies to attain those goals. How can we ensure that every citizen, every individual globally can be above the poverty line? That means that generating the employment and the income for individuals, that they are able to live their life, dignified life. How can we work that we ensure globally that no individual sleeping without having their meals, and that means no one is hungry? How do we provide the meals to everyone? And that can only happen when we generate a livelihood for all global citizens that start from each country. Important is that how do we create that infrastructure and the facilities to provide a good health and well-being of individuals. Whereas when we talk about the well-being, it's not only the physical well-being, it's the emotional well-being. It is the social well-being. It is the physical well-being. And how do we provide that? The strategies need to be developed. Today, when we look at the gender equality is picking up and becoming a very big, the focus in all organizations, whether it is for the employability, whether it is the work culture, whether it is the, and how do we give, especially the women who are from the underprivileged section, that therefore it's important how do we provide first the education to them, and then and develop them that they are employable and they can have their own identity. How you empower the woman, and that will start with the girl child. How both the boy and girl are equally treated, given the equal opportunities for education for all aspects. And during the COVID pandemic, we have seen that when the remote education started because of the COVID pandemic, it was the girl child who suffered more for their education, because the parents were arranging a mobile for their child. They preferred to arrange the mobile for their son and not for the daughter because they were not able to afford. So the government need to look at that how those opportunities can be created, that the gender equality starts from the childhood and not the thinking the later on. We find that various parts of the world where the getting a clean water is very challenging. People travel to the far off distances to get the water, or the having the proper sanitization. How the government create that kind of the infrastructure and the facilities where the clean water is available to the people. And the most important, when we talk about the education, we have been seeing that what the industry is looking for and what kind of graduates are coming out of the higher education system. And many times the industry gives the feedback that what the higher education institutions are producing and what is the need of the industry, that does not match. So how the higher education institution work closely with the industry to understand the needs the skill set required by the industry, and accordingly the higher education institution make the necessary changes in the curriculum, make the necessary changes in the pedagogy, and develop the skills and competencies of the graduating students who are employable, and also how to give the opportunity to the students that they do not only look at the employment in the industry, but not rather to give them the opportunity that they can start their own ventures, and that can only happen if the innovation creativity is integrated in the curriculum and the risk-taking abilities are inculcated in the students by giving the various opportunities where the students are encouraged to look for the new ideas, explore those ideas, and work on those ideas and convert those ideas into a business venture, and creating the right kind of ecosystem, not only education, but the mentoring, the support, network, and creating that interaction with the venture capitalists, the funding agencies, and all, and also creating the awareness of the various schemes of the government, so that the students are able to start their own startup, and that's the very important need. So in order to have the Atmanirbhar Bharat, campus entrepreneurship is one of the very important area and pillar for the economic development of the nation. So it will not only employ an individual who is starting the venture, but it will also generate the employment for the others, and therefore the employment generation opportunities need to be created, and the higher education institution can play very important role. We are already seeing that the global warming and all those things, so many issues are coming in, related to environment. How do we create that awareness among the students to be the responsible citizen, to be remain environmentally responsible, so that how to change the lifestyle and the usage of various products which will be the environment friendly. How we make the plastic free environment. How do we have the zero power consumption or the low power consumption? Looking the alternate modes of for the power. How to make those buildings the sustainable buildings, and how do we really create that? And Mr. Rahul Bhaveji was have explained that how the government has been taking the initiatives, and also in the real estate industry, and the new kind of the building designs are coming, which are consuming the less power, and the making the heat, the more ventilated, and the more sun light is coming to the rooms, and all kind of things. So how to make those sustainable buildings, and which can reduce the consumption of the power, and or use the alternate energy resources, power resources. So therefore it's important that how the higher education institution can play important role in all aspects of the sustainable development goals. Because if the awareness among the students is created about the sustainable development goals and what role they can play, irrespective from which discipline the students belong, because all these sustainable development goals are relevant to every single discipline, and every single discipline plays important role for attaining these sustainable development goals. So I would like to congratulate organizing team, Dr. Kavita Indrapurkar, and her entire team for putting in this workshop. And I'm very happy that the institution is also has come up with a book titled Sustainable Development Goals, Lessons and Challenges in the VUCA World, and which has been published by the Bloomsbury Publications. I would like to congratulate the authors of this book also, and I'm sure this book is going to be very helpful to the students, the researchers, and the academicians, and also to the corporate people. So with this, once again, I thank Professor Dr. J.P. Sharma, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sher Kashmir, University of Agriculture, Sciences and Technology, as well as Mr. Rahul Bhaveji, the Executive Director, National Housing Bank, for gracing the occasion and delivering the that very thought-provoking address. And I'm sure that your address is going to be a long way in developing the future talent for the industry, who will immensely contribute in attaining all the sustainable development goals. Also, that we always look at that how the Amity University can work together with the other organization to achieve the common goals for the making India an Atmanirbhar. So I would like to explore with you, Professor Sharma, that what our university and university can do, where we can collaborate and work for the research and innovation. Maybe for the student exchange, NEP 2020 has given so many opportunities where the higher education institution can work together, and the faculty, the students can work together. So we'd like to explore those. We can have a separately, we can discuss on those, the way that it is mutually beneficial for both the universities, and also which directly contribute to the region or to the nation is extremely important. Mr. Bhave, I would like to explore that how we can work with your organization and where we can contribute. Amity University has been conducting large number of professional development training programs for the employees of the banking sector and the other sectors. So how we can work together, maybe under the CSR, maybe the professional development or research or innovation, any areas. And so we look forward working together with you also. With this, I thank all the distinguished speakers for the day, as well as I convey to all the students that please take notes what all the distinguished speakers are saying, because you will not get everything in the books. This is coming out of experience, as well as what are the future trends are there and the latest practices are there, and that you can only learn from from out of the wisdom of those distinguished speakers who have the several years of experience and the understanding of the environment, of the economy, and the geopolitical and all kind of aspects of so therefore they make best use of this opportunity for your own learning and development. So thank you very much, and wish all the best for this conference.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, if I request you, good morning, ma'am. I've sent you a book, ma'am. If you please open it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words of wisdom.
And many congratulations, Kavita.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Dr. Kavita and Dr. Neeru.
Thank you so much.
On that note, we would now like to invite our next keynote speaker, Mr. Shahriar Akhtar, who is an Associate Professor of Digital Marketing, Analytics and Innovation at the School of Business at University of Wollongong. He's an Associate Editor of the Journal of Strategic Marketing. Sir was awarded his PhD from the University of New South Wales Business School, Australia, with a doctoral fellowship in research methods from the University of Oxford. He was recognized as
जी
Hello, everyone. Can you listen to me? Yes,
Yes, sir.
right. Thank you very much. So it's my great pleasure and privilege to be invited here and to talk about innovation and sustainability. I would like to thank all the organizing committee and distinguished guests and the students who are going to join today's session. Thank you very much. And let me start my presentation. Okay, I hope you can see my presentation now. Can anyone confirm me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So today I'm going to talk about sustainability in data-driven innovation. And before I jump into the presentation, one more time, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Shahriar Akhtar. I'm an associate professor of the School of Business at the University of Wollongong, Australia. So this particular topic has gained a lot of attention in recent years. If we look at the Industrial Revolution, the first industrial revolution focused on steam engines. The second one focused on electricity. Germany and the US gained a lot from the second industrial revolution. The third industrial revolution is focused on these microelectronics, and the Southeast Asian countries like China, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, they have basically capitalized this third industrial revolution. In the fourth industrial revolution we are in at the moment, and this is a fusion of AI, blockchain, cloud, data analytics, IoT, or Internet of Things. Now, as part of this Industry 4.0, we have got a new type of innovation, and we call it data-driven innovation. So I will give you examples of data-driven innovation, and I will talk about how to ensure sustainability in data-driven innovation. If we look at algorithms in the early computing, then you see artificial intelligence was coined by John McCarthy at the Stanford University. And he basically defined it as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So that was artificial intelligence as he defined. On the other side of the Atlantic at the University of Cambridge, Alan Turing was developing how to train a machine to think like human, which we call present-day machine learning. So these two are two different types of artificial intelligence they were developing. The founders of artificial intelligence, who basically gathered together in the first conference in Dartmouth in 1956, they were thinking about how to develop these artificial intelligence type of machines. And we all know there are two ways to program a computer. One is a recipe. We ask computer to do this, do that, and the computer is following our commands. That is one way. The other way to program a computer is basically we feed a computer lots and lots of data, and we ask the computer to follow the pattern. So these are two ways we can program a computer. Now, if we look at the change in the last 20 years, every single minute, there are 700 million logs in Facebook. Is 2.4 million search queries in Google. Every single minute, 150 million emails are sent. And the mighty Amazon makes $200,000 per minute, more than $200,000 per minute. Now, if Amazon were a country, it would have been the 58th richest country of the world. Now, what Amazon is doing? Most of Amazon's activities are basically data-driven innovation activities, and I will give example what type of data-driven innovations they are applying. If we look at artificial intelligence, then the concept was developed back in 50s to 70s. The theories were developed at that time, but it didn't progress that much between 80s and 2000. Why? Because at that time, we didn't have enough data. In order to run artificial intelligence, implement artificial intelligence, we need lots and lots of data. But because we are in digital economy now, we have got lots and lots of data. We are now in a position to develop brilliant artificial intelligence. And now we have got these two organs of artificial intelligence there we are applying for different types of innovations. One is called machine learning, and the other one is called deep learning. Now, if we look at how does this machine learning and deep learning works, now machine learning, we ask a machine, these are the attributes, classify something based on these attributes. And this is machine learning. In case of deep learning, we don't give any attributes. The machine, basically the computer, it learns from its own analysis, and that is called deep learning. For example, in Facebook, if you upload a photo and it automatically says, tag it, or this is someone, right? So that image detection is basically deep learning. And the Amazon's recommendation engine is an example of machine learning. So these are examples of data-driven innovations we have got now. When we go for these data-driven innovations, for example, in developing marketing models, we basically we collect data. Every company has data, lots and lots of data from different channels, different touch points. We collect that data and annotate that data. We develop a model. We then filter the model, and then people see the output, and that is the data-driven innovation output. Example of data-driven innovation. I have bought one book from Amazon, and Amazon has recommended me all other books. This is an example of data-driven innovation by Amazon, and this is called Amazon's recommendation engine. And Amazon, the mighty Amazon, it makes 1/3 of its revenue from this recommendation engine, 1/3. So that data-driven innovation is really working for Amazon, right? Another example, all we love Netflix, and you will be surprised to know that 80% of the content Netflix develops is in data-driven innovations. So back in old days, we used to recruit director, producer to make movies. But now Netflix looks at the data, what type of movies people want. And based on that viewing patterns, they come up with the idea of making movies. One of the successful programs they have developed is called House of Cards. It has been hugely popular all over the world. And in House of Cards is a program, it's a serial which has been developed just based on data. For example, another example is, this is the largest retail chain in Australia. It's called Woolworths. it has offered me $10 using a data-driven innovation. The algorithm they have used is called recency frequency monetary value algorithm that we teach generally in our analytics class. So they have identified that I am a customer who is worth $10 of bonus. And they have analyzed that using RFM algorithm. Another example, online dating sites. They use 18 variables to match two profiles. 18 variables, age, gender, income, education, occupation, habit. They match all this and then say, congratulations, you've got a partner for you. And that is that has made this particular platform as one of the leading online dating platforms in the United States. Now, if we look at Facebook ads, and if I just ask you, go to your Facebook page, all right? All of you, go to your Facebook page and see what advertisement you see, okay? After 1 minute, if you give me some advertisements, I can guarantee you that no two advertisements would be similar. That means if I see one type of advertisement, you will see different type of advertisements. And this is called Facebook's data-driven innovation. And how Facebook is doing that? They use 99 variables to match which advertisement is going to be placed in which profile. And I was in the Facebook head office in Australia, in Sydney on the other day. And what they are doing is basically selling advertisements. If I ask Facebook, I want to give diaper advertisements to a 30-year-old mom who buys diapers 2 times a week in Australia, Facebook can precisely identify those people profile pages and they can send those advertisements. And Facebook advertisement is basically killing newspaper advertisements because it's so precise. But this is another type of innovation by this social media giant. Now, problem, because we have to discuss this sustainability, right? Every innovation has to be sustainable. Now, the problem is that these data-driven innovations have got a lot of bias. For example, Facebook advertisements, one particular government organizations, they wanted to advertise science, technology, engineering, and math-related advertisements. They wanted to promote it to everyone. But in Facebook, those advertisements are going basically to male subscribers pages than females, because Facebook has identified most of the STEM jobs are done by males. So they are placing them into male profile pages. So that is a bias. That data-driven innovation has got a bias. So whenever we do these innovations, there are lots and lots of bias. For example, in the United States, Amazon was recruiting employees, and their recruitment platform has screened most of the female applicants. They have just selected male applicants. So it has created a lot of attention because the data-driven platform they have developed, it was a biased platform. So the challenge is basically how can we address these biases of this data-driven innovation? If I can show you a neural network model, I'm sure that we don't have enough time to show you a neural network model. How does it work? But let me explain. For example, I have developed a model using IBM Watson. And this neural network model has got 5 predictors: product type, unit price, promotion, revenue before, and what is the outcome. So these are the independent variables or antecedents. Using this, I have developed this neural network model. And my neural network model is saying you have got 2 most important predictors, the product types and promotion. But there is a bias in this model. And the bias is, we know in every marketing model, we have got some other important variables. For example, there is no reflection of channel. What channel is important when we communicate with customers? There is no reflection of channel. There is no reflection of, for example, the type of promotion that which is more important than the other. So we have developed a neural network model, but it has got a bias. Now, if it is applied in industry, then it will give some wrong message, wrong decision making, right? So that is the thing we really need to consider. In machine learning based model, for example, this is the equation of every machine learning model. Now, this B is called the bias, but we are not interested in this bias. We are basically interested in bias which is hidden in the societal level or personal level or historical level that is reflected in recruitment, that is reflected in selecting peoples or offering any products and services to customers. The Guardian has said, although neural networks might be said to write on their own programs, they do so towards goals set by humans, using data collected for human purposes. If the data is skewed, even by accident, the computers will amplify injustice. So data quality is important for developing data-driven innovations. Amazon Rekognition, for example, this is a deep learning platform, Amazon Rekognition. And using this platform, if I ask this platform is used for surveillance, airport passenger screening, employment decisions, housing decisions, mortgage decisions, and the United States, they also use it, who is going to be for payroll and who is not going to get payroll. So a lot of important decisions are being made by Amazon Rekognition. Unfortunately, this Amazon Rekognition has got bias. For example, this is a facial recognition type of platform. If I can show you this platform, I have developed a model for you using this platform. Just let me quickly show this platform. Then you will understand how does it work. Okay. New share. For example, this is an Amazon Rekognition platform. And here you see, this is my team based in France. So in 2019, I was teaching in France, and this was my students and colleagues. And I have asked this platform to recognize me, every single person in this portal, what they are wearing, what they are doing, their facial expressions and everything. And the program has, you see, it has given me all these information regarding this one picture, and this is basically the codes have been used for this analyzing this particular picture. Now, this is just an example what Amazon Rekognition can do whenever we are using this platform for various decision making. Now, let me go back to my presentation. So I was talking about Amazon Rekognition here. Now, these are all the critical decisions that we make using Amazon Rekognition. Isn't it interesting? But this particular platform has got problem. The problem is that it makes mistakes when we are using darker skinned individuals and darker skinned women for men, because the data they have used for making Amazon Rekognition, most of the data set represents white skinned, or that means white people. And that's why it makes a lot of mistakes to identify darker skinned individual and darker skinned women for men. That is a problem for this particular software. Another one, of all the dominant biometrics we use, fingerprint, that means biometrics or face recognitions, is the least accurate and is rife with privacy concerns. These are some of the news regarding these data-driven innovations. For example, Apple has used it mistakenly. For example, in issuing credit cards, they are issuing more credit cards to male than females. In some cases in Australia, we have used these data-driven innovations to give money to people as part of welfare payment, and the machine has made mistakes. Now government is repaying around $1.42 billion to the people because it has made a lot of mistakes. Now, what are the sources of this algorithmic bias? Is data bias, model bias, and social bias. So whenever we go for developing data-driven innovations, in order to sustain data-driven innovations, we really need to take care of data bias, model bias, and social bias. As part of our research, we have investigated all the different sources of biases under these three major sources. We have come up with a solution in our research. How can we sustain this data-driven innovation? We really need to ensure scientific consistency, application consistency, stakeholder consistency, and assurance consistency. If problem happens, if data-driven innovation really presents problems, after developing this, what should we do? We should identify the problem. We should review the problem, to what extent it has happened. We try to fix the variables, which particular variable is causing the problem. We'll develop a responsible artificial intelligence model. And the model we developed, we should test it on different levels of data to see it is providing consistent results. And then basically we can deploy a model. Now, algorithms might present risk. They can amplify injustice. They are black boxes. We don't know how these programs are written most of the time. Their complexity challenging our decisions. But shall we stop data-driven innovations because it has got all this risk? The answer is no, because algorithms can transform our lives. They have the capability to analyze big data. Now we are living in the age of big data, and they can analyze any type of big data. They can enable evidence-based decisions. With the help of this AI, we can fix a lot of problems. For example, cancer diagnosis and detection. That would be much easier in the upcoming days because of algorithms. And overall, these algorithms can lead to a better tomorrow if they are properly deployed. So that is why we really need to address these biases whenever we develop data-driven innovations. And these findings of this research I have reported and my team has reported in different journal papers. These are some of the papers that we have published as part of our research. And thank you very much for your kind and patient listening. Any question?
Thank you so much, sir, for lighting the sacred spark of academic curiosity in all of us. The session is open for anyone who wishes to ask the answer. They're most welcome to ask the questions in the chat box itself. And if we have time for the addressing these questions, we will do so. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful session.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So, education is known as the building block for any long time sustainable change. To further shed light on this, our next keynote speaker, Dr. Sherry Bawa, will present us with her thoughts and ideas. She is the director and a senior lecturer in economics, learning and teaching, School of Accounting, Economics and Finance at Curtin University, Australia. Ma'am holds a PhD in monetary economics and a master's degree in business administration. Ma'am has been awarded an MSc Honours in Economics and has started her journey as a BSc Honours of Economics. Ma'am is a Fellow of Higher Education Academy UK and an Associate Fellow of Curtin Academy. She is also an Equus champion and is a member of Sustainability in Business Council and Gender Equity Group in Curtin University. Ma'am is the recipient of numerous awards and membership, and her key interest areas for research are higher education, STEM and women, labor economics and well-being, employability, gender differentials and wealth, gender issues, and so on. Ma'am has had recent publications in recognized journals like Economic Record, International Labor Review, The Economic, and Labor Relations Review, and several others. Ma'am, it is an honor to have you with us. I would like to invite Dr. Sherry Bawa to share her valuable insight with us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me nicely?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much for giving this opportunity to talk to you all and to address your students there. I think it's been pleasure listening to all the presenters, and very delightful opportunity to come here and present. I'm an Indian by background, as you all can see, but I came to Australia 10 years ago, and I joined Curtin University 10 years ago. So I have been teaching at Curtin University last 10 years, teaching to all the business students, but we do teach engineering and science students as well. And as you said, I do research in STEM and women, where we look at gender inequalities among women in occupations such as sciences, mathematics, engineering, and technology. So globally, like less than 30% of women represent these areas. And we try to understand what are the issues and why, how we can address the retention rate in those areas. Today I'm going to speak about the role of universities in SDGs and what can we do as academics and as business schools. So in my opinion, there are two ways. One is that we engage with our audience through research as academics. We publish papers, as we all do, and then we try to train our students on research areas inspired by Sustainable Development Goals. But I believe that has only a limited exposure, because I would assume only academics would read my papers and they won't go to the general audience probably. So I think the other way we can address these sustainable development goals, and another way how we can engage with our students is through learning and teaching. And being the director learning and teaching at Curtin Business School, it's one of my it's one of my aim to achieve that, how we kind of embed SDGs into our curriculum, how we engage our students with SDGs, how we make our graduates who will be going into the society, how we empower them with skills so that they can understand what are the issues, what global issues we are going through, and how they can make changes in the world. So I think the first thing for us is to make our graduates aware and conscious around the issues that the society is facing. And how do we do that? I have a few answers for you. So I'm going to share what I do as an academic and what my colleagues do here in a business school. So I'm going to share a few examples, right? So first thing, in order to empower my students so that they understand the SDGs, the first thing I need to do is to make them aware, to make them realize that there is a lot to know, and they out in the world, there are so many inequities and there are so many complex problems that they need to understand, and hence contribute towards their solutions. So the first tool I think we need to use is, how do we embed SDGs into our curriculum? And I think the first step would be designing our content in a way that we teach them what is happening around the world. We need to make them globally open-minded. Like I teach Australian students, and Australian students would never have seen poverty. They don't understand the concept of gender inequality because they've been raised in a developed world. But as SDGs say, that the developed countries need to take a lead, and then developing countries need to follow the precedent. So I think my responsibility is to make my students aware around not what's happening in Australia, but around the world in countries like China, India, Bangladesh, and so on. So the first thing I try to do is we try to make content, design the content in a way so that they can relate with the content. Okay, so I speak their language. I try to give them examples that they would be easily, they can easily relate to. So content, then I can say that the next step is teaching them case studies, like international case studies. Now, how would you teach students that this is happening around the world and you are connected, or you are in a way contributing to that problem, or at least to the minimum, you're not doing anything to bring the change? So I'll give you an example of the topics that I teach them. I teach them social dilemmas. One of the recent topic is, for example, COVID-19 and how COVID-19 has resulted in the additional medical waste that will be going into the environment. So, of course, health is our priorities, and it's a dilemma. You need to save lives, but how can you reduce the impact of the plastic waste that's been generated into the environment? Because it takes ages and ages to get rid of those plastics, and I should say it never goes away. It stays in the environment. So how can we manage? How can we better manage this problem? And then inequitable access to COVID vaccination. So we in Australia, we are triple vaxxed, we got vaccinations, everything is okay. And rather in some situations, we have been dumping vaccines because they were expired, and there was vaccine hesitancy where people were trying to wait and watch before they were going to get the vaccine. So we have been wasting vaccines, whereas I tell them that there are countries where people are actually waiting for their first dose. So how can they make a change? How can we reduce the waste and use it for a sustainable purpose, like making those things available to those countries where people are just desperate to get those vaccinations? Another could be like fast fashion industry and sweatshops. I'm sure young students sitting there would relate this topic to them. So how would you teach a student that you need to make sure that your supply chains as an entrepreneur are ethical? So I'll give you an example. Like I show them a slide. So there are two parts of the slide. One is a fashion dress that they buy here for $100 or $150. Okay, so this is the brand you bought for $150. And the other part of the slide is the factory, the sweatshop where that dress was made. So my student paid $150 for that dress, but then the worker who made the dress was locked down in a sweatshop or in a factory where they had no air conditioning, no health and safety measures, no whatsoever facilities at all. And for making that dress and making many more like those dresses, they just get $2 a day. So if you're paying $150 for something and the worker is getting $2 a day, how can we say that we are responsible citizens? So I think, in my opinion, it's very important that we make our students aware of from where the production is coming, how they should be responsible for their ethical supply chains, how should they make sure that even if the supply is being made in another part of the world, they need to make sure that their workers are receiving the minimum wage, receiving the basic conditions so that they can survive. And then other could be, I think the first thing my students need to understand, and hence you all as students need to understand, is responsible consumption and production as an SDG. That should be the first thing you need to understand. I mean, you're not in production yet, but you are a consumer. You are kind of consuming goods and services that are made in different parts of the world, made by different workers, made by slaves sometimes in countries. So I think the first thing you need to understand is how you make yourself a responsible consumer. And then later on, when you become an entrepreneur or whatever, doctor or whatever, and as an engineer, how do you become a responsible person in your occupation as well? So these are the key themes I think we need to make our students aware of, and they should be understanding how they can make the change. And what we can also do is engaging our students in public goods games. So that's what we do here. So we give them logins and they all play online games. Now they can make two decisions. One is, for example, they consume the environment, they catch all the fish from the ocean, and the second option for them is to reserve the catch and then protect the environment, so conserve the environment. I mean, they understand at the end of the game that how they didn't think about the future and that they just were self-interested and they were trying to make more points and they were trying to consume as much as possible. So that's another way of interacting with our students, especially the students of economics and business, that how they can make decisions, conscious decisions, where they take responsibility of the future as well. And then another way could be like innovative assessments, designing innovative assessments. For example, in Australia, we have a program where we invite school students where they pick an SDG. Okay, so the idea is that you as a student, you pick an SDG and then you work on it and come up with a solution that you believe can be used to address that problem. So you choose and pick an SDG, come up with a solution. It can be as innovative as you like, and then share your findings with others. So it's kind of engaging students when you're teaching them. And as a university, I believe there are a few steps we can all follow. And the first step is mapping where we are. So it is very important to understand where are we sitting in terms of achieving these SDGs. Are we doing something or are we not doing something? And it's okay if you're not doing something, if we haven't started. But I would like to congratulate you all because you have already been doing this and it's been 5th conference, as I heard. So the first thing is mapping yourself, making an assessment of where we are sitting. And then the second would be prioritizing the SDGs that you want to target. Of course, we cannot achieve all the SDGs, but there are 2 or 3 that you really want to champion as an Amity University or as an academic or as a university anywhere in the world. So pick your SDGs and try to kind of focus them, become a champion in those SDGs, and then demonstrate to the world that this is the change we have made by working on these SDGs. And the third step would be for any universities embedding SDGs into curriculum where you teach them SDGs, where you share case studies, you give them problems, real life complex problems, like how would you solve the problem of gender inequality? I think, for example, if you want a group of students who don't understand the concept of gender inequality, just let them play the roles. So let's make boys girls and let's make girls boys. Okay, you're going to look after your family and then tell us how fair it is that you have not been working full time and your superannuation is less than your husband and so on. So just let them play roles and then let them be in others' shoes and then let them understand what the other person is going through. That would be another thing. And finally, I think the last thing we need to do as universities is to assess our performance at several stages. So we can't just say this is what we are going to do. We need to measure what we are doing. We need to assess them at intervals of time, and we need to see whether it's just a lip service or whether we are just ticking the boxes or we have done something that can have an impact on the society. So with that note, I would like to say thank you so much for this opportunity. It was a great pleasure speaking to you all, and I hope my words will make some sense to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for inspiring us with your valuable discernment on the implementation and adaptation of sustainable lifestyle among recent graduates. So thank you, ma'am, for that. Now, it is with great pleasure that we would like to invite Ms. Sharmishta Ghosh, the Honorable Director of Business Advisory with BRICS CCI. She has a degree in Development Economics from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Currently, ma'am is pursuing her doctorate from Lovely Professional University, as well as taking care of business expansion and extensive consulting, research, and fundraising with member nations. During her time at MIT, she was taught by the Nobel laureates Esther Duflo and Abhijit Banerjee. Ma'am also has an MBA in Marketing and International Business from IMT Ghaziabad. She is a fundraising expert and sustainable development consultant certified by the World Bank. Recently, she has also written a paper on Society 5.0. Apart from this, ma'am has a 360 degrees consultant, an economist, and an emerging economy specialist. She is the chapter chair for Delhi NCR Poverty Alleviation. Ma'am has an incredible work experience in various roles, be it corporate or consulting across the countries. Ma'am, I would like to invite you to address the audience.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Great. So, it's great to be here. I've been listening to pearls of wisdom since morning, but I have on the onset a small complaint. Is this a room full of students? There is no noise. No one is asking a question. No one is. I was not like this as a student. I used to my professors used to say कि बैठ जाओ, हो गया तुम्हारा, बाकियों को बोलने दो. So, if you're a student, you have to have that fire inside. Question everything. Just because someone is coming and telling you something here on a screen, I'm telling you something, question me back. That what is my authority on telling you something that this is how it happens. So please be open to ask questions. I would really appreciate a little interactive session here. And I also want to take a suggestion from you all. So like a lot of my predecessors, I also have a presentation prepared. But when I was listening, I really felt that instead of doing a presentation, it'll probably be better if we have a heart-to-heart talk. What do you all think? Should we do a talk or should we go the slide presentation mode? Please, come on. I can see a lot of people right there listening to me. Some response? Can we just have a conversation?
Sure, ma'am. Anything that you'd like.
Yeah, because, I wanted to come there in person. I was not aware that, I can also be there in person initially. And by the time I came to understand that it's a hybrid mode, it was a little late. I had other engagements, maybe next time. Sustainability. Sustainability is such a vast topic, such a beautiful topic. We can keep on talking days and days on this. And that will not probably, do any good unless we also know how we reach there, what we do to achieve sustainability for the planet, because and ourselves, and because we are one and the same as the planet. I'm in a very interesting position today at the conference. Most of the people who have spoken have much larger experience than me in terms of age, which is a number. I'm probably a little closer to you all. So I understand how and what kind of questions always are there in the minds of young people when they hear very specific and scientific talk. इससे होगा क्या? इसको हम actually में कैसे implement करेंगे? What is the actual impact of it? So such things, these are the things I would like to talk today. I'll tell you a bit about my organization. I'm the Director for Business Advisory with the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BRICS being a collective of 5 nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. We represent 40% of the world's population. It's the biggest population block in the country. As this the lovely presenter already said, I've studied poverty elevation at the MIT. I have had the great opportunity to study directly with Dr. Esther Duflo and Abhijit Banerjee. So I studied poverty elevation, and now I'm working with the biggest population block in the world. It's exactly my interest area. As far as SDGs are concerned, I'm sure most of you know the SDGs by number. So the first SDG says no poverty. The second is no hunger. So, it all boils down to betterment of the whole world. And honestly, I was supposed to only speak about Society 5. So Society 5 is the integration of machine and technology in everyday life. Society 5 drives from a philosophy that we as human beings can do much more than machines can. Driverless cars, all your metaverse. This is all a part of creating a Society 5. How, however, we reach there and what is the actual impact is what we should be discussing actively. Along with being a part of BRICS, I also run my own consulting business. And with my consulting business, I'm a part of two funds which are trying to make the world a better place. One is in sustainable housing. So Rahul ji chale gaye already. मैं उनसे बात करना चाह रही थी. मैंने हाथ भी raise किया था, but I could not ask him a question. So we help raise funds from all the global players and invest the money in housing. Sustainable housing in the smaller cities of the country. So that's one fund that I'm a part of. The next fund that I'm a part of is an impact fund. As all of you are students of economics, you must be knowing what is an impact fund. So an impact fund is a fund which it's an organization which raises funds so that we can invest further in organizations, in companies, in startups started by young people, which are to address the SDG. So these are my direct, how should I say, my two bits in trying to implement SDGs in a better manner for everyone. So this is the crux of what I have been doing. As I said before, I would really like to have an interactive session. So, is there something that you have a basic understanding of when we talk about Society 5 or when we talk about implementation of SDG? Anything, anyone that can be a conversation starter. A gender role, an equality, poverty elevation. We know that these are all. Someone is raising the hand in the back. I can see a gentleman raising a hand. I can see him on the screen. Can someone give him a mic or something? I don't know how I'm going to interact.
Ma'am, actually, this session is in hybrid mode. So, I mean, everyone has actually joined as attendees. So, I'd request if you can. We'll address the questions if they are in the chat box. Yes. So, if you'd continue addressing the gathering.
Okay. So let's talk a bit about Society 5. Okay. So now Society 5, it's a beautiful concept created by the Japanese. Okay. So as we had Reverend Professor, he took us through a lot of presentation telling us about Industry 1, Industry 2, Industry 3, Industry 4, and Industry 5. So societies also form around the Industrial Revolution. Okay. So Industry 1 के साथ Society 1 आता था, Industry 2 के साथ Society 2 आया, similar. So finally, when we are in Industry 5 revolution, which is completely based on AI and, very advanced technologies, we have Society 5, which is the integration of human and technology to create a better society overall, wherein the basic concept, the basic understanding being that a human brain is supposed to do much better work than what a machine is capable of. Right? Like what happens today when you are doing a program or you're writing something or, you save it somewhere on a cloud. And then what you can do, you can retrieve it back from the cloud and work on it. Right? So this is what we're doing in Society 4 or Industry 4.0. Society 5 goes a step further, wherein they say that we have to cut out the human interaction completely. So as it was already said in a presentation before, so it would have been repetitive, that Society 5 or Industry 5, it works on really large amount of data. So the analysis is done by the AI on its own without a human interference. Okay. Now, why it is important for development economics? That is the point that Industry 5 address nahi karta or Society 5 karta hai. There is always a price for development. Development always comes at a price. And the price of development is to be borne by the society. Okay. Either it is pollution, or it is poverty, or it is one major thing, which is disappropriate distribution of wealth. Well, we keep on hearing this, that the world's, wealth is 70% of the world's wealth or 80% of the world's wealth is with 10% of the people, right? So these have been probably the costs of development, the development that we had. So what is the Society 5's, the beauty about Society 5, it at least envisions or it postulates to create a balance wherein we can have development without costing it to the society, because everything is to be done by the machines. It is aiming to create a more equal society, as in there is, let's say there are certain kind of mines in a certain kind of geography. So till now, what is happening? Let's say in India, we have so many minerals, so many natural resources, but probably we don't have enough money to mine it, to make it profitable, so on and so forth. Now there is another country out west which is more cash rich, has more money. They can just invest it, take it out, and reap the benefits, while the people who are gifted with that natural resource are probably left high and dry, or there is a disappropriate distribution, so on and so forth. So Society 5 postulates in creating a society where this disparity is minimized. If someone is not able to follow what I'm saying, please feel free to interject. I'm saying again and again. If I see a chat, if I see a question in my chat box, I'll answer it. So this is what the primary, what should I say, from my point of view, the beauty of Society 5. As a development economist, जो poverty elevation पर काम करता है, my target group are people who earn less than $1.25 a day, so below poverty line. So that's the target group of people I work with. So I get very excited with technology which helps them in direct or indirect ways. So Society 5 probably for me, it gives a solution to this huge income disparity between people, between societies, and between countries, if that can be reached. So this is a crux of Society 5. Still a very futuristic concept. When I was writing my paper about Society 5, I spoke to the best technology people in the country. Many of them were not even aware of it. So it's a long way to go. But that's the future. We are looking at a future which will be completely technology based. The wastage can be reduced, profits can be maximized, but not at the cost of natural resources. At the same point, because this is this beautiful opportunity that I have where I can speak about sustainability, I'll also like to emphasize on the importance of oceans, because that ecological part of our planet is the most important part, but it's not often spoken as much as let's say an air pollution or something that is that impacts our health directly. So healthy oceans are very vital for the sustainability of the planet as a whole. But I don't want to talk only about what is good for the planet or not. I want to talk about what governments are doing, what innovations are being done to address concerns. So I would like to talk about a kind of bonds that is being issued by the government of Japan. As students of economics, you must be aware of what a sovereign bond is. So there is this beautiful, initiative that the Japanese government has taken. It's called Blue Bonds, and they are the world's first ocean-centric sovereign bonds to take care of cleaning the oceans and maintain the ocean, so on and so forth. So a lot of green bonds are being issued by the Indian government also. So my thought here is, why I'm saying all this to you all, is educate yourself more, know what is happening, SDGs are just not topics कि हमको gender equality करना है, हमको poverty elevation करना है. We also have to understand in which general direction the world is moving. Like before pandemic, the largest share of funds, which was in the range of about 48 trillion USD per year, was earmarked only to environmental causes by the United Nations. But then the pandemic hit, and then the priorities changed. But however, and said so, that remains one of the most important areas for all of us to focus on and do our little bit. So every little bit that you can do as students, as young entrepreneurs, as people who will be interacting with a lot of people in the coming future, educate them about sustainability. Tell them how even a small recycling can make a difference. Try and promote recycling of resources like water, etc., in the places that you stay, because everything helps. And Society 5 is something that we will achieve together when we as humans will go one step up. That the things that can be done by the machines can do. A driverless car looks very much possible. So you don't need a human to drive and park your cars. The cars can drive themselves. So probably humans should elevate themselves, think one step beyond this, and do something more sustainable, more meaningful for the planet, to save the blue planet. And I don't know, maybe someday in our lifetimes we'll be living on Mars. We really don't know. The technologies are going on, but I always say that before we go to Mars, let's try and feed every hungry person on the planet that we are born in. So this is my short message to all of you today, that and also with BRICS, I would, as it was said before, I would like to collaborate. We also have an incubation center. We have a youth program, and I'll talk to the competent authorities. You guys, if you want to participate, you can participate. We take delegations globally. We do a lot of exchanges, and if you guys are planning on having these innovative startups around sustainability, I am a part of an impact fund, especially for women entrepreneurs. So we look at funding a lot of women entrepreneurs who are working in the impact sectors of sustainability. So what I'm trying to say, the possibilities are endless. The things that people have to learn are endless. There is no end to it. And I think together we can actually make a lot of difference. And the time to start is now. So let's not think that, abhi hum students hain, abhi hum karenge, we'll have to have a job. And no, we have to start now. It's already late. Before it's too late, we have to just start now. So with this, I would like to conclude my address. I still would like to have interaction. If someone has a question, I'll be very happy to answer.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Hello, ma'am. It was very...
Hi. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, I would just like to say that in the last year, we could manage to have an online conference. This year, we are having it in the hybrid mode. And I'm sure in the next round, we will be calling you here physically. And I'm elated to see the kind of motivation and you have to interact with my students. And my students are also very, very highly, wanting to meet you and discuss topics with you. But there are...
I live in Gurgaon. I'll come down one of these days. I don't need a conference to come and meet a few students.
Definitely, ma'am. Yeah. So we look forward to a suitable time, and we can sit together and talk on all these issues that you have addressed here. And we also look forward to meeting you on that. But right now we have got certain limitations of the hybrid mode, and so therefore I apologize for the same. And Kulkirat, back to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insights and kind words.
Thank you so much. There is someone has sent me a question. Can I just take that?
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Kumkum has written me a message, and she's saying that there are some researchers which show that in Society 5, the requirement of manpower will reduce to a large extent. Like it was written that the task which requires 100 people will only need 5 after the technological advancement in the meta world, and India being the second most populated country in the world. But I haven't come across any such solution to but I haven't come across any solutions to such problems. Kumkum, this is not a problem actually. See, when the world moved towards automation, जब घोड़ा गाड़ी चले गए और मोटर गाड़ी आ गए, तो लोगों को लगा था सब भूखा मर जाएंगे, कैसे करेंगे हम लोग, तो क्या करेंगे? But ऐसा नहीं हुआ. We evolved and it ultimately created more employment, right? So it will not. What we have to understand that as a new solution presents itself to the world, there'll be a time when there'll be a phase when you'll be doing the upgradation. So there'll be some changes. Some people will be directly impacted. That's true. But by and large, society moves forward. Because I was attending a conference on AI, and we had the head of IBM and everybody speaking. So this has always been a concern, that if how much technology is too much technology, you know. The answer is we really don't know. When I was writing my paper on Society 5, at some point even I got scared, you know, all those AI films that we have seen, कि robots ने एक दिन take over कर लिया सब कुछ और हम कुछ कर ही नहीं पा रहे हैं. So ये लोग सच में ऐसा हो सकता है. But you see, we'll only come to know when we reach there. As of now, this is a very futuristic concept, and yes, a lot of work will get easier. See, that's the thing. If the planet that we are inhabiting gets destroyed, or it's irreparably damaged, then nothing matters. So the thought behind Society 5 is कि अब तक जो achieve किया है वो machines को दे दो, machines को handle करने दो, so that humans can elevate further, so that हम कुछ और अच्छा काम कर सकें, so that we can create something better, you know, and have a more equitable society, have a society which has a greater responsibility towards the planet and each other. So that is the concept. There'll be good and the bad. We'll see how it actually functions when it happens. But till then, we have to hope for the best. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, the end of all knowledge should be of service to others. And with that note, we'd like to invite the conference convener, Dr. Neeru Sadana, to extend a vote of thanks to everyone gathered here.
Good afternoon to all our dignitaries, senior functionaries, faculty, and students gathered here. It's my privilege and honor to propose a formal vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank our founder president, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, and Chancellor, Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan, for their blessings. It is their vision to nation building through education and beyond. It is a belief of our founder, Sir, that through this research platforms, faculties, scientists, and brilliant students can explore and expand their frontiers of knowledge and create centers of thought leadership. I am ever grateful for the presence of our Vice Chancellor, Ma'am, Dr. Balwinder Shukla, for her nurturing guidance, motivation, and support in conducting this international conference, and for helping us to achieve greater heights than ever before. I would like to further extend my thanks to Professor Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, Sir, for his presence and his guidance towards developing and inculcating more effective and academically conducive culture of performance with pride across Amity University. I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed dignitaries for taking out their precious time to grace this august gathering. And I thank them for imparting us with their enlightening insights on topic ranging from innovation, technology to Society 5.0. My sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor J.P. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of Sher-e-Punjab University, and guest of honor, Mr. Rahul Bhave, for lighting the sacred spark of academic curiosity in all of us that are gathered here. We are truly honored to be graced by the presence of such eminent personality who stand as a pillar for the advancement of academic thought and have nurtured generation of scholars. Next, I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Ms. Shor Mishta Ghosh, Dr. Sherry Bawa, and Mr. Sharir Akhtar, who have truly set a benchmark for multi-hyphenated achievements. It is an honor to be graced by the presence of such accomplished people. Once again, I thank all of you for accepting our invitation and joining us today. Last but not the least, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to our head of Amity School of Economics, Professor Dr. Kavita Indrapurkar, ma'am. Without her excellent guidance and constant support, conducting the 5th International Conference would have been an impossible task. Thank you so much, ma'am, for always being there for all of us. I wish luck to all our panelists, presenter, and the organizing team. I hope from here onwards, we will have 2 days of immense learning and exchange of knowledge in this international conference. Best wishes and best regard to all. Thank you so much.
We are very happy to announce that we have a respected Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay sir with us. So, I would like to request you to please come and share with us your valuable views.
So at the outset, although I am not, as per the flow of the program goes, but certainly I made it a point that I must come and meet all of you, those who are attending it. So dear students, dear participants, and dear speakers, most important thing is the speakers. Now you all have been working very hard in terms of achieving the outcome of this conference, 5th International Conference. And this is very, very interesting that we are conducting in hybrid mode. So I could see myself in the MS team, and you could also see me in physical form. And this is something, new innovation that we are talking about. And there is also sustainability in it. Why sustainability in it? Because many speakers will not be able to come. We save petrol due to the transportations. And the speakers who will be speaking, they will be saving their time. Time has a cost, time has a value. Now, this type of innovations, we have to think every walk of life. So I must thank, Dr. Kavita for taking the initiatives, for conducting this, very interesting conference on sustainable development goals, harnessing innovation, technology, and society. Now, it does not, need to say 17 SDG which has been formulated, which has been given to the whole world has accepted it, because if we are not able to maintain those goals in letter and spirit, possibly we will not be able to keep for our future generation the exact resources that they will be requiring for their own survival. Now, if you are going to maintain it, or if you want to going to sustain it, so conservation, preservations are essential part of our should be our endeavors. Whether it is in the case of energy, whether it is in the case of carbon footprint, whether it is in the case of agriculture, whether it is in the case of fossil fuels. So everywhere, in terms of achieving those 17 goals, it becomes very, very important for us to achieve too. And main way it is achievable is innovation, technology, and then society has to accept it, society has to understand it. So innovation and technology, say for example, fossil fuel, the innovation is there. How do we create non-pollutant automobiles? Similarly, in terms of the cooking gases, what type of methodology can be adopted? What sort of innovations can be brought in so that their consumption of the electricity we reduces too? Now, power, electricity power. How do you reduce the electricity power so that the fossil fuel burning or the coal burning in terms of thermal plants, it get reduced to? Because majority of our power supply, it comes out of the thermal plant, and thermal plant is the most pollutant units. Similarly, paper, how do you reduce the papers? Because for one piece of paper, as far as the calculation goes, there is about 1/4 of a tree goes. So how do you really save paper? And paper industry is the most pollutant industry, point number one. Point number two, the paper industry is most water consuming industry. It takes lots of water while the paper. So this type of thing that we need to keep in mind, and we have to have our own approaches. But most important for economic student, yes, goals are well determined, well fixed. Goals are well understood. Goals are well implementable by 2030 or so. Goals are well implementable. Now, India is talking about 2050, but they are all, zero carbon footprint and like that something. They are all achievable goals. Removal of the hunger, there are achievable goals. But what do you do? And that's most important thing. So as an economic student, our work is that for achieving those goals, what type of measure must we put in place? What sort of direction that we will be guiding the society? What type of policy that needs to be made so that policy interventions makes us to achieve those sustainable goals? And I must congratulate all the speakers well in advance that they accepted to come and speak, and they submitted, some of the researchers, they submitted their papers, and they are going to deliver this paper either online or offline, both form. So once again, I congratulate my students volunteers, because students volunteers have worked day and hard. That's what I've been told. I congratulate the faculty member associated with this conference, and certainly credit goes to Kavita ji, who is heading the department. So with these words, I wish a grand success of this today's conference. And I must once again tell it's a great initiative with innovations. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for coming, sir. Thank you so much. Oh, please have high tea with us, sir.
Thank you, sir, for giving a delightful end to the inaugural ceremony. We are truly grateful to be visited by such an eminent dignitary close to our heart. Thank you once again, sir. With that, we come to the conclusion of our inaugural ceremony of the 5th International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals, Harnessing Innovation, Technology and Society 5.0. Before bidding adieu, we would like to state the 6 technical sessions falling under the banner of our conference. The first talks about sustainable development and enabling technologies in marketing. The second explores sustainable development and new dimensions in Industry 4.0. The next revolves around sustainable development and social innovation in finance and accounting. It is once again my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay to please open the book.
So the book is so important that it's getting opened twice.
Yes.
You are mine.
Thank you, sir. So, our 4th technical session that is dedicated towards sustainable development and society 5.0, while the 5th one deals with sustainable development and socio-economic aspects in entrepreneurship. The last one encompasses multidisciplinary issues in sustainable development. So, see you all in your respective session, and with this, everyone is requested to disperse for the high tea. Kindly do join back for the panel discussion after 15 minutes. For the ones who have joined us online, the joining link for the panel discussion is the same used right now. See you all soon. Thank you.